Hey everybody, hope you all are having a good Wednesday. Hump Day is now officially over and the weekend is almost here, and actually Easter weekend, so it means lots of good food and hopefully more time to play Mass Effect Andromeda. Alright, so when we left off we were trying to decide which of the two planets to go to, and I have thought about it a little bit. I think I'm going to go to Havarl, I think it's called, something like that, and that's the one with the research team and not the heavy fighting, just because the fighting sounds a little more.
Pathfinder, you have new email.
You know we've got a finite set of tires, right?
Also limbs and lives.
Well, what's the point of having them then?
Everybody's trying to talk to me at once. All right, one thing at a time. But yeah. So as I was saying, the it sounds like Vorl, I think it's called, will be having a little more combat. So I figure it'd be good to go to the other one first, save the exciting one. They'll probably both be exciting, but maybe the more exciting one for later, and also I'll have more levels and more experience at that point. So that might make a lot of sense. Anyway, we should probably check our emails, because I know I had a quest that mentioned email, and Sam just said I had email to check. That, of course, is the galaxy map, which we need to take to get to our next destination, but we'll get to that in a second. And I believe I checked my email here in my quarters. Nice view of what I assume is Aya below. Does not look like a very friendly planet, but I guess there are a few locations which are suitable for habitation. Here's our email terminal, also known as a computer. Remtech, thanks for the remnant storage box from the EOS Vault. All I need is one particular piece of Remtech to complete my project. And it's on Vold. Alright, well, we'll definitely go there. But first we might start with the other one, like I was saying. You had a successful mission on EOS, wanted to come talk about it on camera. I think I got this before the interview we already had, because she already interviewed me fairly recently. I have an issue that you and Sam should be able to readily solve. It may assist my investigation into the Scourge. We can discuss it at the Nexus Labs. Alright, well I will make a note to go see her when we're back there. Who say this guy lost his brother, and not sure who Dash McCoy was. Sounds like a good name for like a cowboy or something though, or a, I don't know, a U.S. Marshal. You know, howdy, ma'am. I'm Dash McCoy. All right. So I guess did I read these? I don't know why it says no. Probably not. All right. So let's go through and just real quickly skim over all of these. Cora is complaining about the Vault, reminding me of some of the temples on Thessia, some huge spaces and running water, quote unquote, sense of a higher purpose. I hope we know more about it. That's one of my favorite parts about these games, is finding out the history of these fictional worlds. Tempest is operating at peak efficiency. Very good. Some hacks. Lets you use the coffee dispenser in the gallery an unlimited number of times. Overrides the normal hot water ration in the showers. Put your clothing ahead of everyone else's in the auto laundry cycle. Well, I appreciate that. But I expect, well, I don't really drink too much coffee, and, well, I don't know if Ryder does. I personally don't, but maybe he does. Although I feel like that'd be bad for a Pathfinder to be constantly on coffee. And overrides the normal hot water ration. That one would definitely be tempting. I do like my hot showers, but from PV to PED. But then again, I figure we all have our fair share, so if I use more water, that means everybody else is getting less, and that really wouldn't be fair to them. She's mad about the nosy doctor. Alright. Anything else? I guess we haven't seen these either. We have a lot of new messages by the looks of it. Oh, the paper on soil. Haha, light reading, yes. The attached Helios Podology Sanwart.ait has been categorized as spam and is now quarantined. Thank goodness. Grateful for our talk, even if we ended up disagreeing. Suvi is the doctor, I believe. Having a hard time keeping track of everybody on this ship. But yeah, we'll go with that. From Drac, Retra told me what happened to your dad. I've lost a couple people over the years. Figured you could use some cheery up. 37 images of rifles and shotguns. 2 are duplicated images, many are low res or watermarked. I guess he did like a Google image search or whatever the, what are we in the 28th century or something like that equivalent is. Alright, I guess, oh, Drac, okay, Drac is the, I was calling him Drax I think earlier, but he's our Krogan friend. Alright, whatever cheers you up. Attachment, Krogan virility and digression. Attached is my Krogan thesis that I mentioned to you. I know only 500 pages, but I wasn't allowed to go over. If you get through it, I wrote a longer dissertation for the Citadel Journal of Medicine that's much more insightful and includes mating diagrams. Ooh, mating diagrams. Sounds fascinating. Yoga poses from Lexi. Wait. Oh, Suvi is... Wait, I'm really confused now. Suvi is the pilot, or the co-pilot lady, our researcher. Lexi, I think, is the doctor. Oh, okay, yep, that makes sense. I actually remember this talk now. I got it, and that makes sense why it's called spirituality. Alright, now that we got that straight, yoga poses. This is from the doctor, Lexi. Not to be confused with Suvi. Given the amount of high-impact cardio in your exercise routine, I recommend spending 5 to 10 minutes a day stretching to open your hips and relieve tightness in your lower back. The poses I've listed below should do nicely. Not to sound elitist, but while it's true humans invented yoga, the Asari perfected it. I can see that. Alright, so here's some yoga poses. Very interesting. I'll have to try these at some point. Oh, I don't know if they invented all of these. Current's bow at least sounds real. Don't know whether or not it is. I've never really done much yoga. Matriarch's pose. Kneeling, take a deep breath. On exhale, bring both hands together to form a triangle. On the second inhale, swing arms overhead and bend forward until your torso is between your thighs. Hold for 3 breaths, reaching further with each exhale. Let me know if you need diagrams or vids. Guess this could be helpful. News from EOS. I could use your help with something Hanley's working on. I don't fully understand, so I'll let her explain. She'll brief you when you get here. Okay. I thought he was the mayor. Now he's the leader. Guess they're synonymous, but I'll have to... Hopefully these are added automatically to my quest log. I'll mark all as read once I actually read them all. And come by and say hi to Costa. Is that the engine? I know I recognize the name Costa, but I don't remember who he is. I have enough names to remember in real life, let alone in a video game. I need like a little like diagram. Or I should have taken notes is what I should have done. Hey Ryder, hope it's okay that I'm keeping the static core in my room, i.e. the escape pod. The best ideas comes to me while I'm half asleep. Anyway, I don't really see any notes here. Guess this is just an email about the notes. Alright, anyway, now they are all automatically marked as read, and hopefully added to our quest log as well. That was very bright. Okay, well, we have checked our email. Speak with Carrie about events. That's the one back at the Citadel. So I guess it just like automatically reassigned our... Oh, it's adding the quest to our thing. I see. Well, that's cool. Alright, so let me just take a quick tour of the ship. We didn't really have a major mission in between.
Bridges 4, engine rooms aft, med bay starboard. Smart stuff up front, powers in back.
Yeah, don't worry, the ship confuses me too. And it's my ship. Alright. Case in point, I just visited a dead end room. I think this one is as well. Yeah. This would be a good place for somebody to live though. Got a sofa and all. Let me just see if they have any new dialogue.
That Archon. Arrogant son of a bitch. Maybe that's redundant for a ket.
I guess it's a yes. I'm sure there's some good cat. I mean, you know, every group of people has some good people in it.
He's also the first kid who bothered to talk to us. That's useful intel.
True, they can communicate. They just prefer to open fire. So, what else is new?
So are these all new then? I know we talked to her a decent bit. I'm pretty sure we asked her about the Ark already, but they're not grayed out. Let's try them and see if they sound familiar.
How's the search for the Asari Ark going?
The Lucinia? Checking every comm that's coming in. Nothing concrete yet.
What did you do while you were part of the Asari military?
4 years in a commando unit called Talane's Daughters. Part of the Council's cross-species military integration initiative. You probably had a more exciting time defending that Arcturus relay. But we did good work. Peacekeeping is a full-time job, even in Asari space.
What was your commando unit like?
Janae and I were the youngsters. Tethys was our old lady sniper. Kalia patched us up, and Valenza prayed between firefights. Our CO, Nasira, led us all over the Athena Nebula and beyond. A huntress's work is never done.
Yeah, the Asari make out as if they're like a perfect utopian, super intelligent and peaceful and enlightened species, but obviously any society has their fair share of problems, so I'm not going to be naive enough to choose that one.
Every civilization needs its defenders.
And the defenders usually match their civilization, like Asari huntresses being adaptable as hell. Makes you wonder what our militia will look like in 100 years.
You were in the Alliance before you became a huntress, right? What made you join up?
My biotics. I was still living on my parents' cargo freighter when they manifested. Untrained biotic power on a starship means accidents, but we couldn't afford a tutor. The Alliance had implants, the training, everything. Old history now. Your turn. Remind me why you came to Andromeda.
I spent years watching pioneers go through the Arcturus mass relays. Off to glory, while I stayed behind. Then Dad's career collapsed. His AI research made him too toxic.
I heard. Must have changed everything for your family.
It's kind of weird that they don't give you like any choice and all, and I guess I've already decided that with previous conversation choices. But he kind of just spouts immediately why he came. It would be really cool though if like that bit of dialogue varied depending on things you've said previously. I think that was something they did in, I want to say Inquisition maybe, where your character, or no, it was probably Dragon Age 2, because that game was kind of built around that idea that your character would develop their own personality based on your previous choices. So hopefully there's some of that technology in this game as well. So did I want adventure or a fresh start? Both, I think, but he probably would have wanted a little more fresh start, or a little more adventure.
It was time to forge my story and my horizons, and to give Sarah a shot at making the discovery of a lifetime. So, Andromeda.
None of you writers ever think small, do you?
It is interesting that we had what I assume is the full squad achievement yesterday. Yet Sarah hasn't really joined our team yet. I kind of assumed she would be, but maybe not. It'd be really cool if there was some like main like. Obviously, it's a big deal to make a twin. Kind of a tangent here, but to put a twin character into a video game, like again, it's Dragon Age 2. Both your siblings played fairly major roles, and I feel like if they're gonna choose this as the game to add a twin sibling to, which you actually get to customize, then hopefully there's a very major plot role for them. I think there's a lot of potential there. But again, this game has a ton of potential. As far as actually meeting it, we'll see where it goes.
Did you come out here with anyone? Maybe someone you served with?
I had my fun on shore leave. Nothing serious, though. Asari huntresses figure things out, but I was there for soldiering, not romance.
Guess I only have to choose one of these.
You're not technically military anymore.
Can't get anything past you, can I?
After 4 years with Asari Commandos, you must have some great war stories.
Nasira assassinated a Krogan warlord with a pack of playing cards once.
A pack of cards?
Choking hazard, apparently.
Wow.
Reminds me of like those Saturday morning cartoons where they always had the villains that would have like razor edge cards. Didn't the Joker have something like that? All right. Now I could have sworn that we talked to Cora last time, but maybe we didn't because she had quite a few conversation options.
See you later, Cora.
I'll be here.
All right. Well, I guess while we're here, then let's check out up on at least one other crew member. Make sure they didn't all get new options. Where'd the lift go? And somebody wanted to talk to me, but I'm not really sure who. Hey, PB. I like that they move around the ship. That makes them seem more realistic than the ones that just stand in the same part of your ship or the same part of camp all the time.
You again. Want to hear more about my childhood log cabin?
All right, I guess they do already all have new conversation options. I kind of assumed they would after each like major planet, but I wouldn't really consider Aya a major planet. We've only been there for, we were there for like 20 minutes maybe. So this may be another episode of talking only to my my squad mates, but I expect there's going to be a lot of those over the course of this Let's Play.
So how do you like the team?
Interesting bunch. I get a good feeling from Vetra. Not your typical military-minded Turian. Liam seems a lively one. I expect he'll surprise me. Drek is, well, old. Wonder if he can still learn new tricks. And Jal. That book hasn't even been written yet, has it? Exciting.
What about...
Gil smacks of complication. Might take some unraveling. Callow and Suvi seem busy. I hope they aren't all work, work, work. Who's left?
Well, there's...
Oh, right, Cora. What's her deal? Is she as prim and proper as she comes across?
I was going to say this conversation sounds familiar, but I think it was a little different last time. We obviously didn't have the new guy on our ship, and I don't think she really gave me a chance to defend Cora.
She's exactly what she should be. Capable, reliable. She's a valuable part of my team.
Sure, sure. That comes across too.
There's also Lexi, our doctor. She's an Asari.
Oh, I'll get around to her. All in all, seems like a decent bunch.
Glad you approve.
You really won't tell me what you're working on.
That's right. Next question.
What was it like for you on the Nexus?
Well, I wasn't supposed to be woken up yet. A resourceful accomplice finagled my early thaw. So I kind of lived off the grid. Snuck around, bullshitted my way onto excursions off station. After I found my first remnant ruin, I started, borrowing shuttles. After that, I didn't spend much time on the Nexus. I even missed most of the revolt.
So I still haven't decided who my romance interest is going to be. I also like how the option is just called flirting, or it, comes right out and says it.
What does someone have to do to get you to flirt with them?
Not much at all. But I get a little extra jolt when I'm matched wink for wink. So just be yourself and the flirts will flow.
You mentioned you came to Andromeda with someone?
Nothing gets by you. Guess that's why you're the Pathfinder. Just a friend. The one who woke me up early. But now she's not even that. It's better to venture into the unknown without restraints or entanglements, don't you think?
Seems to fit her character, although... So if didn't she mention something about that before? I feel like there was also another story that she kind of left dangling. But yeah, somebody who came here with his sister and his father, I don't think he would really agree with that approach.
I don't know. Don't friends and loved ones make all the effort worthwhile?
I've always been self-motivated. Don't need much more than curiosity to drive me forward.
What drew you to the Remnant?
Are you kidding? It's evidence of a sophisticated species no one knows anything about. It doesn't get more intriguing than that. There's so much to discover. I want to be the first to figure them out. And the tech, it's on a different scale. If we can appropriate it, who knows what advances we'll make.
You're off the hook, PB. Good luck with your project.
Thanks. Don't be a stranger.
That's why I'm making these rounds. Alright, where's the engineer? There he is.
There you are. Gotcha.
Do I need to get Lexi to do a psych review?
Maybe. People have been telling me I'm crazy my whole life. Just dealing with some scourge issues. That Archon fella tried to warn you not to joyride into it, but you were just la la la. It was an act first, think later move. I respect it. Well, more like I resemble it. Hey, you play poker?
Come again?
Poker. Card game with bluffing, betting. It's an age-old measuring stick of a person's character, fortitude, guts. Used to think maybe it was my calling. Turns out I'm just good at it. Never lost heads up. We should play sometime.
Used to play poker, but that was years ago. And also about the Scourge, like, I mean, sure, it was like a split moment decision, but it was the right decision for sure. There wasn't really a lot of option there. Getting captured by the Archon and meeting my destiny or my whatever it was he said, probably would not have been pleasant. I don't feel like Ryder would be a particularly good card player, though.
Maybe if we get a break from duty.
A little distraction can be useful. Let yourself wander a bit. You might come back sharper. Next time we port up and you're in the mood, I'm always in the mood.
Alright. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
The Angara were super curious about the ship. A few were pretty bold. Asked me questions.
What do you make of them?
They know their shit. Quick-minded, sharp. They'll make good allies.
Good talking to you, Gil.
Anytime.
Alright, well, it was good getting his opinion on the Angara. Glad I talked to him one more time then. Alright, who else is around here? Liam, I don't think we talked to you yet.
Pathfinder, you have new email.
Oh, I just checked my email. This is as bad as work.
One hell of a trip this is turning out to be. Hostiles, ruined worlds, no home in sight. Everyone's getting toasty. There was a 2-hour argument yesterday and no one even knew how it started.
That's not good.
Luckily, I have the perfect way for people to unwind. Movie night.
Those are always the worst kind of arguments. Also, how did my character not know about this? I feel like he could have and should have intervened there. Keep morale high. I wonder what movies are like in this day and age. I guess they also probably brought a lot of movies with them from the Milky Way. I mean, I'm sure at this point in human history, there's like more movies, probably even just more good movies than you could see in an entire lifetime. So I'm already in this day and age, there's probably between TV shows and movies and books and video games, there's more media than anyone could possibly see in one lifetime. But trying to digest as much as I can here. Also, I wonder if there'll be, I guess eventually there'll be a new like entertainment industry here in Andromeda, but survival comes first.
Taking a breather for a good movie? I could get behind that.
Best part is, it doesn't need to be good. Still get mileage out of the bad ones. It's worth it to jumpstart everyone's pioneer spirit and all that. The Tempest database is pretty dry. Could you download a movie library from Nexus Ops to see what I've got to work with?
If I have time.
Thanks. Everyone will appreciate it.
Again, I would think in this day and age you could fit like every bit of media ever created on like a thumb drive, but maybe eventually technology stopped advancing in that way. What was that guy? Was it Moore's Law where you can was it every 1.5 years the capacity of storage among other things is supposed to double? I think already that's kind of slowing down though. Was it Moore's Law or somebody else's law? Somebody's law. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't see anybody up here. Did Liam have anything else to say besides movie night? It is true what he said though about, where'd he go? About sometimes bad movies, depending on who you're with watching them, can be just as enjoyable as good ones. And this comes from somebody who's a bit of a movie snob.
So, Jarl.
So,
We haven't had a chance to talk alone. You comfortable in here?
I took it. It feels strange to stay with the others. You are aliens.
Note to self, don't open any doors until I'm done with my thought. So this is about movies. Oh, another fun thing too, besides criticizing them together, is there was no game on Whose Line Is It Anyway that we did where you'd mute the TV show or movie and then like ad-lib your own lines to what they're saying. So if you ever get stuck watching a bad movie or there's nothing good on TV and you're with your friends, give it a try. It'll be worth it. Yeah, we're all aliens here.
And you're alien to us. So there, we have something in common.
We can look at it as a place to start.
Got it.
Perhaps then, if we're all aliens, it's about what kind of alien we are.
You had no idea about us, but you signed up to help us anyway.
Perhaps it had nothing to do with you.
Care to elaborate?
I do not.
How do you know Moshae Sefa?
She's our greatest mind on the Remnant. I was his student.
You studied the Remnant too?
A little. I was terrible. I quit. Or she threw me out. One of those. We're still very close.
So, is that your rifle?
It is now. It's Ket, with my own modifications. I like to tinker, to get my hands on something and take it apart.
That's a skill I know we can use. But I have one request. Please don't take apart my ship.
You're right. I signed up. Volunteered for this. It's exciting. There's something unique about you. Uneasy, raw, but somehow profound.
Face value, that sounds like a compliment. A nice one.
It is. Angara feel deeply. We have more trouble hiding our emotions than showing them. I should get back to my work.
I want to walk up to somebody and give that exact compliment now. There's something about you very profound. He doesn't seem to have as many like topics you can discuss as the other ones. It's just, you know, chit chat.
This was good. Let me know if you need anything.
Thank you. Let's talk more later.
Is it later yet? Because I do want to see if you have any other options.
Yes?
What's your story, Jal? Tell me about yourself.
Why?
Well, why wouldn't you? You hiding something?
Maybe. That would only make sense.
Well, it's definitely good to know who I'm working with here.
I was born on Earth, third planet of the Sol system in the Milky Way.
That's interesting.
Is it
Thank
though?
you. That's enough. Until we've established a better trust with each other.
There's one like it on every team. All right, well, we'll have to earn his trust and get him to open up a little later then. Lexi, how are you doing? Everybody in good health?
So we have a stowaway.
You mean PB?
She's decided to set up in one of the escape pods. You don't need a psychologist to tell you that one's got commitment issues.
Wouldn't really call her a stowaway though. We invited her on board. Stowaways are, you know, not supposed to be there. Oh, again, that would be another really cool plot strand if you had a stowaway on your ship, like in KOTOR with Sasha. I'm sure you guys remember that subplot. See, that was one of the things I loved about those games and Bioware games in general. Is even like the subquests or the side quests are in many cases almost as memorable as the main quests are. A lot of topics here.
How did you get into medicine?
My mum was a dancer on Omega. Dad was a bouncer. I'd patch him up after busy nights. Discovered I had steady hands. They put every credit they earned into my education.
Are they here in Helios?
No. Both died in a turf war. Made leaving the Milky Way behind easier.
Reminds me of a friend I had back in high school. She was not the sharpest tool in the shed, but when we played Operation, she had incredibly steady hands. She was like insanely good at Operation. Always said she should become a doctor, but I think she actually became like a paralegal or something. Anyway.
How do you think the crew is holding up?
I'm happy to share what I can without violating patient confidentiality. Anyone in particular? I sort them in their files and my brain by species.
That is kind of cool that they mention doctor-patient confidentiality. That's not something you really hear about too much in a video game, especially when you're the commanding officer. But, you know, the crew should have some degree of privacy. And obviously I'd like to know about anything that might impair a mission, but failing that, their health is up to them. Wouldn't want to get a HIPAA violation.
Why do you sort them that way?
Just easier for me to see patterns in behavior.
How do you think the human crew members are handling things?
There's a lot of them.
Guess there are.
How's Cora doing?
She's processing. Your father was her mentor. She expected to follow in his footsteps, but he gave the role of Pathfinder to you. Just because she trusts his judgment doesn't mean she's not confused. Or hurt.
Are these... I guess she's also like our psychologist, psychiatrist. A little of both, I suppose, in addition to being our doctor. There's one really good sci-fi series I read where about a journey to Mars, and ironically, the one psychiatrist or psychologist, I don't remember what he was, that they sent along, he was the one that developed some interesting mental problems because his psychologist was back on Earth, which has, of course, a 17-minute or so time delay. So it's kind of funny that who's, sure he can be the psychologist for the rest of the team, but who then is his psychologist?
Gil?
Gil likes to use humor as a defensive technique. He'd rather bury himself in the Nomad than tackle emotions head-on.
Suvi okay?
Suvi's strong sense of faith keeps her grounded. I'm not spiritual, but there's a beauty in how her mind rationalizes religion and science.
How's Liam?
A handful. Every time I patch him up, he breaks something new. Liam's "we can't lose" attitude is commendable. But I worry how he'll react when something does go wrong.
I expect we won't have to wait too long to find out.
I'd like to check in on the non-human crew.
Ask away.
Is PB all right?
She's avoiding me. Probably thinks I'll poke her with a needle if she gets too close.
To be fair, you're always giving me shots.
Not in the hallway.
Fair point. Didn't PB already write me an angry email about getting needles, though?
Tell me about Vetra.
Vetra's used to having someone depend on her. I think that's why she's so resourceful and likes providing for other people. That being said, I think she could use a little me time.
How's our Solarian?
He's quite the gossip. Tight-lipped about himself, though.
Tell me about Vetra.
Oh, wrong
Vetra's
button.
used to having someone depend on her. I think that's why she's so resourceful. That being said, I think she could use a little me time.
I could have sworn I had remapped these better. One more try?
Tell me about Vetra.
Nope, okay.
That being said,
Guess I need to fix
I think
those.
she could use a little me time.
Is Drac good?
That old bastard's always good. I've never met anyone who can be so stubborn and so appreciative. Could you look out for him, Ryder?
I'm not sure what she means by that. And I'm going to choose this one just because I think it's going to, maybe prod her into going into more detail.
Drac can take care of himself.
You'd think so.
Or maybe not. Also, I think the issue is when I mapped them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or this is the order they display probably on the options menu, which I think is new in one of the recent updates. I was thinking it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I mapped them that way. So these two are probably flipped. But anyway, you guys didn't need to know that. Just thought I'd share.
Is Jal doing okay?
He's adjusting. The rest of us have at least some understanding of each other's cultures. But to Jar, we're all outsiders. It's a lot to take in. I'd say he's doing pretty well.
I'm glad they gave us an Andromeda native as a member of the squad, though. And I kind of assumed they would. I didn't know if it would be a Ket or something totally different. And it does seem like it's a little early, but at the same time, you don't want to wait too long because then you don't get really a chance to spend much time with your companions. All right, I suppose that's everybody.
Thanks for the insight. I need to talk to you about something private.
Of course. That's what I'm here for.
When Dad died, he blocked off parts of Sam's memory, things he didn't want me to see.
Or he thought you weren't ready for.
Maybe. I found this trigger. It unlocked a memory fragment of Dad on the Citadel, from when the Alliance rejected his ideas about AI, and he found out Mom's illness was terminal.
Why do you think your father chose this specific memory?
It was where his journey to Andromeda really began.
Those events started your family down a new path.
Yeah. Thanks, Lexi. Feels good to talk about this.
She was a lot less insightful there than she was about the crew, but I suppose we have a lot more options we can use to elaborate.
I ran across another memory fragment. Dad made Sam for Mom, to cure her. I knew that was part of it, but...
You didn't know it was the driving force?
Both true, but let's see what she says to this.
Dad was always so aloof. I never saw this side of him.
Maybe that's why he kept this memory, so you'd know.
Makes sense to me.
How long have you and Harry been friends?
I remember when he didn't complain about arthritis. We met at a medical convention on the Citadel. He was moderating a panel on neurosurgery in low-gravity environments. His name card was crooked, but he was so damn confident, I knew we'd be friends.
So how did a sorry doctor end up on the human Ark?
Specialist in alien anatomy, remember? That includes humans. Also, Harry insisted. Maybe he always intended to switch jobs.
That is true. Even when I first woke up, I didn't realize I was on a human-only ship until probably way later than I should have, and I think part of that might have been because one of the first faces I saw was an Asari.
I'll let you get back to it.
I'll be here if you need me.
Alright, well... Once again, we spent the whole episode on our ship, but let me see if I can find one more person to talk to. Research Center, oh, that's that thing. And we also need to check our email again. Who's up here?
So much biodiversity and the waterfalls.
Just like Sirkesh.
They are quite pretty.
I saw pictures of the vault. Astounding how big it is. And how much of it didn't you see? What if it's way bigger? What's all that space for?
Wait, who was taking pictures while we were like running for our lives? Maybe PB? Then it would also be, I would assume, like our suits have some kind of like body cam to like record everything we do. Hopefully like a 360 or a spherical even, whatever, however many degrees that would then be. Infinite degrees, I guess, body cam. But you know, to take like a 3D record of everything we see. So oh, you could joke. I'm like parties. I didn't get it, but now I get it. But yeah, that definitely was a huge space. Let's see what she says to a joke. I want to see what her sense of humor's like.
Wild remnant parties. What else would you use it for?
Well, that's a thought. You don't really think they... Oh, joking. I see. Good one.
Not well, it turns out.
When did you start believing in a god?
My parents were both scientists. My home was ruled by rationality. So when I became a teenager, let's just say that while other kids found Batarian music, I found God.
But your
Batarian
work
music.
as a scientist.
Convinced me even more, especially when I got into molecular biology, physics. The patterns I kept seeing over and over again, they were like an artist's watermarks. God, to me, is an artist. An inventor, not someone checking to see if I brush my teeth.
It is funny how obviously most people take after their parents without even realizing it when it comes to either religion or politics or beliefs in general. But there's also a significant like subset of people who just trying to rebel during teenage years end up either with liberal parents and they become conservative, or they have conservative parents and become liberal, or they have religious parents and are unreligious, or the exact opposite. Definitely seems like Lexi fits into that category.
I take it you work closely with the Nexus science team?
I tried to keep in contact with them. We discuss anything and everything we discover out here. After all, many brains are better than one, and Dr. Aridana is worth 2 or 3 at least. I work best when I have other people to bounce ideas off of.
That's the scientific process.
I'm still fuzzy about how we managed to see Andromeda all the way from home.
It confused me too. I mean, the light lag would have made any data 2 million years out of date. So I asked Dr. Aridana, and she told me, well, it wasn't her tech that did it. It was the Geths.
You're kidding. Those killer robots we had in the Milky Way?
Those exact ones. The initiative obtained data from an array in deep space. A Geth construct. According to Aridana, the Geth rebuilt a mass relay and turned the approach corridor into an FTL sensor.
A what now?
It operated like a telescope, just faster than light. It provided much more up-to-date info. We don't know why the Geth were interested in observing beyond the galaxy, though.
Maybe we'll never know.
That's very interesting. And at least in a Mass Effect-y way, it makes sense. I wonder if something happened to that telescope relay then, and that's why we can't use it to communicate. Or I guess we would need one. Well, I guess we wouldn't. We could probably send messages back there. They just couldn't send messages here, maybe. I don't know, because we could like do things on enough of a scale to communicate. But how would they communicate back unless we also had one of those telescope relays here? Then again, you think if it was a relay, they could send. No, I guess not, because if it took us 600 years, I would assume messages would also take 600 years to get here. And obviously that's faster than light because the Milky Way and Andromeda are way more than 600 light years apart. Anyway, I know it's all sci-fi mumbo jumbo, but it is interesting to think about and to try to make some sense out of it.
How did the Initiative even get its hands on Geth knowledge? They're isolationist and hostile.
I don't know, Ryder. Maybe I don't want to know.
Trying to think of why the Geth would be interested in the first place. Maybe they knew that the Reapers were out there in deep space and they were trying to contact their gods, essentially. Definitely one theory.
What do you know about the Remnant's terraforming network?
From what I can tell, the vault is designed to adjust almost everything about a planet. Climate, pH of the soil, atmosphere composition. There's even evidence that it can propagate life. If we can figure out how to control the vaults, we could turn these worlds into perfect habitats.
I do think they're the key to making homes here.
What do you know about the Scourge?
We established that it's artificial. Someone put it there. Or they did something that caused its creation. We don't know why. That's still a mystery.
I wonder what about it makes it seem artificial then. Because the way she said it, like, the first part, makes sense. That you could tell by analyzing something that it's artificially created if it has, or at least very likely to be, given its structure. But, or did something to cause its creation, makes it seem more like it looks natural, but was actually caused by another species.
I should get back to things.
Sounds good.
Alright, well, we still have a few people to talk to, but I think I'm going to end this episode here and probably get some dinner since I haven't actually eaten yet. And then I'll definitely come back and record a little more. So sorry we took so long talking to everybody, and we probably still have a little more talking to do, but I know when I recorded my Mass Effect 2 Let's Play, some of the commenters said that I didn't talk enough to my crewmates since there's so much dialogue in these games, so I really want to make a point to get the most out of that while we can. Anyway, thank you guys, as always, for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in a little while.